Hi, I'm Kathy, and this is Steve. In 2019, we started planning our retirement and realized that we both wanted to travel and see the U.S. in an RV. So we started our adventure with Fate Fortune Fun. We packed up our fun mover and started planning weekend adventures and vacations to learn more about the RV lifestyle. Please subscribe and click the notification button so you can follow us as we continue this journey to retirement and beyond. We're speaking to you from our backyard. It is the middle of January, but we wanted to catch you up on some video. We're in the middle of editing and let you know what happened from our trip from Napanee to Florida, because when we left you the last video, we were just pulling out of Napanee and Steve was driving it with the car hooked up for the first time.
And ironically, there was snow there, just like there's snow here.
Yeah, you can't see behind us, but there is in fact snow on the ground. We got a couple of inches.
Yeah, a couple of
Lots
inches.
more ice than snow yesterday.
Yep.
So anyway, so when we left Napanee, we were about 100 miles from Newmar, and what happened, Steve?
Check engine light came on. And I was like, okay, temperature's okay, oil pressure's okay, all the gauges look okay. And, well, I pulled over, had to exit, and popped the hood, and when I looked under at the coolant bottle, it was really low. And then I looked underneath the RV, and there's coolant all over the ground coming off of it.
Yeah, we were not happy. We were nervous. We were scared. We were like, what just happened?
Unfortunately, I had heard of an issue with a hose rubbing on a guard, and I specifically asked them to check that at Newmar. So I'm not happy that we got 100 miles and a hose rubbed through.
Well, I think
That's fast forward.
Yes, that's fast forward. So what happened is when Steve pulled over and realized that there was coolant everywhere, we started to scurry, like, okay, now what do we do? So we called the numbers on the side of the rig. We called Freightliner emergency number, and they started arranging for a tow and said it would be about 2 hours to get us a tow truck. And we're on the side exit ramp of a highway, interstate highway.
Off of 31.
Yeah, so
31 south headed towards Indianapolis.
So as I'm calling Freightliner and talking to them, he's trying to decide what to do. And we made the decision for our safety to get off of the highway and go to an auto parts store.
Well,
Isn't
they
that
then said it was going to be a lot longer to get
Right.
a tow truck there. And then they said it'd be 24 hours
Yeah.
until they got a tow truck there. I think when we called them, we're pretty calm. And maybe we need to be more frantic.
I don't know. I think that, well, the thing is we were calm. We decided to leave the highway and go to safety and go to an auto parts store. And as we were driving to the auto parts store, which was, what, 10 miles away, if that?
No, it wasn't even that.
It wasn't very far.
Yeah.
We made the decision that we were going to, since it was leaking from the coolant hose, it wasn't
gushing.
It wasn't gushing out.
empty.
It wasn't steaming.
We weren't overheating.
Right. So we made the decision that
Drive there and get some coolant. We'd already found out that there was a repair facility.
about 40,
A Freightliner
50
repair.
miles away. I'm looking
Yeah.
down because I wrote some notes so we could get it right. So about 50
About
miles.
50 miles.
About 50 miles away there was a Freightliner. So we made the decision to buy coolant and keep topping it off and get there, because it would take us less time to get there, and they were open until midnight. Now this was like 4 or 5 in the afternoon, if that.
Yeah, if that.
No, probably earlier than that,
Yeah,
because it was
probably
still
about
light.
3.
It was like 3. And so we made the decision to go ahead and get to Freightliner safely and limp along and get that coolant, keep topping the coolant off so that we could get to Freightliner, because they were open until midnight. And that Freightliner was first come, first served.
Yes.
And so
Brand new facility.
Oh my God, it was
Beautiful
gorgeous.
facility.
And we're going to insert some pictures as we're talking, so you're not just going to see us talking the whole time. So you'll see a picture of us at Freightliner and seeing a picture of us being pulled into the bay. It was after dark by the time they got us in the bay.
Oh, it was almost 10:30?
Yeah, it was late.
It was pretty late. We
But
were worried.
We were worried because they were only open till midnight, but they did tell us that we could stay the night in the lot. So if they couldn't get us that night, they would get us first thing in the morning. We had a safe place to stay the night, so that was like, we're safe, deal with the rest. We ended up, they ended up being able to fix it, but unfortunately, the part to truly fix it was on national back order. It happens.
So he had hose that came off of a roll, and he zip tied it up. I actually haven't even seen where it was.
Yeah, so he made it he fixed it so we can continue our journey. And it would we continue our journey safely. And so that was to me the important part.
Yeah. And they had us out before midnight.
Like 11:59 I think we finished up. We somehow in the topping off of the coolant we misplaced the coolant cap, or we didn't seat it properly in one of the fill-ups. So it cost us a whole $14 to replace the cap, whatever. So that was kind of cool. Because they lock their lot, they recommended not staying in their lot because we were fixed, but right outside their gates because the road from the to their gate had a long driveway, and they owned the driveway. And so they said, stay on the driveway, you're going to be safe there, it'll be quiet, then whenever you wake up in the morning you can just get on the road.
Yeah.
So I think they opened at 7 in the morning.
I don't know. We were already gone by then.
Yeah, by about 6:30 we started, I think, hearing the employees come in and the gate open. So we made the decision to leave. We drove across the street to a gas station so we could hook up the car, and because we had unhooked the car because I wanted to put the car in front of the RV because of the angle we were at, just for safety reasons.
And we did get one picture.
Mm-hmm.
Not of the whole RV, but part of it sitting there.
Yeah, at the gas station. So we hooked up the car, and then we got on the interstate, and we were like, I don't know, 30 miles or so to a rest stop. And so we went to the rest stop, and then we made coffee and woke up and reformulated our plan. Fresh day, fresh us. Let's reformulate our plan. We had made a decision to go from Napanee. We were going to go to Crystal River, Florida, kayak with the manatee, and then go on to visit my mother for Thanksgiving, and decided that
the detour took us a little different angle.
Yeah, different angle, and it took us, we lost a day. So what we ended up doing is canceling that Crystal River reservation, extending a day earlier our reservation where my mom lives, and then we went, hey, there's 1,000 Trails, and we're 1,000 Trails members off of Notch Trace Parkway. Let's go there for the night. Little did we realize, it wasn't as close to the highway as it looked on the map.
Beautiful place.
Gorgeous place.
One little detail. There's a bridge. And you can't fit under it.
There's an 11-foot bridge on the way to the campground with the way our GPS, both the one in the rig and our personal GPSs were taking us. And we got turned around. We got lost for almost 2 hours. Did you realize that? It was almost... The sun was setting. It was gorgeous. I'm going to insert some...
It took us down this little tiny road that was... I drive on anything. It scared me.
He held it together.
Tiny.
I think he was ready to strangle me for the directions, but,
And it kept putting us on...
A scenic parkway.
Yeah.
And it was gorgeous.
Beautiful
gorgeous.
place.
But you have to realize that we're a little stressed from what happened. We're a little tired because we didn't sleep great the night before. We're really lost. It's been almost 2 hours. The sun is setting. Deer are everywhere. And we don't know where we're going.
2 hours later... we pulled in to where the place was supposed to be.
Like right there.
Here. And guess what? It's not there.
And so we had pulled into like a pull out, and we were like, now what do we do? And I'm like, we can't find our way. We've got to get off this highway. We've got to get somewhere safe. We've got to sleep. We're cranky. We've got to eat. And lo and behold,
I was ready to go back down where we turned around, and we were spending the night there.
I was at that point too. And then this person comes up in the Jeep and like, hey, are you looking for this campground? We're like, yes. They're like, oh, you're really lost. And we're like, yes. And she's like, follow me. She was from the campground. I'm calling her our campground angel.
Yeah, and I think they do this a lot. There's
Yes.
lots of people who get stuck there and can't figure out how to get there.
Yeah, so she ended up, we followed her back to the campground. The campground was gorgeous. We'll show you some pictures.
Yeah.
They put us down by the river. We've got a beautiful morning drinking coffee by the river. It was gorgeous. And then as we were pulling out to leave, she comes out of the office and had printed out instructions for us how to get back to the highway safely. I was so thankful for her. I was never so happy to see an interstate in my
Yeah.
life.
If you ever go there, the trick is don't come from the north straight down to it.
Yeah.
The trick is to take the highway out of Nashville and get below it, and then you come up to it.
What I'm going
And
to
it's
say,
nice roads that way,
what
too.
I'm going to say is check your directions, check your directions, check your directions,
Yeah.
and check that, look for that bridge, and if you are in doubt, call them and ask for good directions.
You won't fit.
You won't fit under the bridge, and they say big rigs come under that bridge come in all the time with
Busted
their
up
busted
air
air conditioners and
conditioners.
stuff, so just be careful.
Yeah.
I can't wait to go back to that campground because it was,
Oh, it was
gorgeous.
nice.
It was gorgeous. You could spend weeks there hiking
Easily.
and biking and kayaking and boating. I mean, there's so much to do there, but it's not somewhere you want to spend it as an overnight quick stop.
Yeah.
Oh,
If you're headed for Florida, if you go to the left and
That's
follow
what-
those directions to the 64,
Okay,
that'll get you south.
that's pretty much, this goes south.
Yeah.
I looked at it on, well,
All right.
it's already on here.
thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Well, I don't know how the shouting is going to turn out, but hopefully I can cut this part in. That was our campground angel. She printed us directions on how to get out of the campground and not go near the low-hanging bridge. So once we got on the road again, we ended up continuing our drive. We ended up at this really cool rest stop in Alabama. Remember that rest stop in Alabama had the
Yeah.
spaceship. Apparently NASA built some spaceships there, or rockets there,
They had a location in Alabama.
and they had a actual rocket there. We took some fun pictures, and we'll insert them down here, of us, exploring the rest stop and goofing around and having a good time. So that ended up lightening up the trip a bit.
Yeah, that was really nice.
Yeah, it was really fun.
And it was a different way of going, and we ended up staying. Where did we stay?
We stayed in a Walmart that night. And then when we got up the next morning, we were like, okay, so we still have some time before a reservation in Vero Beach, where we stay with my mom. And we ended up going to Lake Magic in Orlando, Florida for 2 nights?
Did
2 nights,
or three.
2 or 3 nights
One
in
thing I
Orlando.
never imagined how long the panhandle is, because we came in through Alabama.
Mhm.
It took forever to get over to Florida,
Right.
what I call Florida.
Well, I mean, you've got the panhandle and then you've got the
Yeah.
peninsula part, and we came down all the way over here and we had to go all the way over. Excuse me. But it ended up being a really pretty drive once we hit some traffic in Orlando, going from Orlando over to Vero, obviously, but it
Things
just,
you learn in RVing,
yeah.
you can look at it on a map,
Yeah.
and it looks close. It might not be.
Exactly. So this video that you're seeing now is just, what happened on the trip. Thankfully, that was the only problem on our trip down to
Yeah.
Florida. Thankfully, everything else mostly worked. We have a couple of things that we need to get fixed.
The radio didn't work.
Yeah, we're having trouble with our radio. We're having trouble with one of our touch panels, but we've got some warranty work to do.
Yeah.
Even though like I said in the Vast video, we loved going to the Newmar Service Center. We loved doing the factory pickup. We
Mhm.
would highly recommend it.
Yeah.
The only thing that I think we did wrong is we finished on Wednesday, and we made the decision to leave Thursday morning. And knowing what I know now,
If you've got 5 days,
stay there the whole
all
time.
5 days.
Stay there the whole time. Because what
And
happens,
thoroughly check everything.
well, even if we hadn't found anything, I think that you're getting up early, you're in the service bay all day, you're on, you're
Unwind.
paying attention, you're thinking, you're listening, you're trying to absorb it all. And by the time we left, we left on the next step already tired.
Yeah.
And had we spent one more night there and just gotten up at our normal pace and gone, done nothing but just, yay, look at this new rig, woo, and spent like the whole day doing almost nothing but resting, when we started to travel, I think it would have been good, because by the time we
started unwinding, and that was when I started feeling how exhausted we really were.
When we hit Orlando in that Lake Magic, I think all we did while we were there was go to the grocery store, go and pick up some things like brooms and stuff from Walmart, and sit in the hot tub. We were in a hurry to get to warm weather because it was freezing there, and we were just get to warm weather, but it
and
wasn't.
Thanksgiving.
And we wanted
because
to be.
we literally left there to go to Florida for Thanksgiving with family.
Yeah, so I think that the first trip, make it short, even though ours was not. I mean, even if you're taking a long trip, make the first couple days short.
Yeah.
And because
you're
really
constantly learning.
Yeah, I mean everything.
I'm still learning, and it's been 3 months almost.
Right. So this is to current that we're video editing this or making this video. It's current time, and we have been almost 3,000 miles in almost
Over
30 days. All over 3,000 miles, and over 30 nights that we've stayed in here.
Yeah.
Because we did Christmas and New Year's too. But that first trip, how does the refrigerator work? How does the stove work?
Yeah.
How do you turn the fans on? How does the heat pump work? How does the air conditioner work? Constantly thinking about how does this work? How does that work?
Turn on the ceiling fan before you start cooking the first time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Smoke detectors work.
Yep.
We're going to wrap this video up. This week, one day, we're going to be taking the rig into Freightliner to get some warranty work done, including the fix with the hose.
Yep.
And then we are going to take a little short trip over President's Day weekend in February.
Where are we going?
I don't remember.
One
of the local South Carolina state parks. It's less than an hour from the house.
And we're hoping it'll be warmer.
Yeah, we've got snow on the ground now, so
Yeah.
Anyway, so we've got a short trip planned in February. You've got a trip planned in March.
Yes.
So we're
down
starting
to Daytona.
So we're starting to plan out our spring trips. Hopefully we'll do at least one trip a month, and we'll get some videos out more regularly for you. And
I think I'll be doing 2 trips up to Redbud Motocross during the year.
Yeah, so we've got some trips planned, but
Yeah.
thank you for watching. Thanks for following our adventures. Thanks for following our dream.
We'll keep you tagged along.
Yes. With a little bit of faith, a little bit of fortune, and a little bit
A
of
lot
fun.
of fun.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.